again and welcome back to Gentle Yoga. Beginning of March and spring is definitely here today in Ireland, and it's so lovely to see. However, we still haven't got the winter of COVID behind us quite yet, so it's about digging in and staying with it for now. Okay, I invite you to take a good sitting position and sitting tall, allowing yourself space to breathe in around the area of your ribs. Try and stretch from your hips to under your armpits. And then just pay attention to your breath and follow your breath in. And then follow it back out again. And just staying with the breath. And as usual this evening we open with 3 ohms to ground ourselves, settle ourselves, put down the day, come into that place of centeredness. Exhale, inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Open your eyes, release your hands. Word of the day is the present moment, or returning to the safety of the present moment. And I'm going to read a piece from David Wilde and what he has to say about it. Return to the safety of the present moment. You feel your feet on the ground again. You observe the madness of the mind rather than losing yourself in it. You feel the weight of your body. You watch your thoughts spinning out of control. But you, as awareness, are not spinning out of control. The world may feel out of control, but you are not. You are not the ever-changing mind, but the unchanging observer. And this realization changes everything. Staying close to yourself now, as your old world falls apart. Walking this new and unknown path with trust and courage, slowly, mindfully, with care. Stepping into your new life, one step at a time, repairing your world with each step, becoming familiar with the moment. From the joy of meditation. Okay, let's make our way. You can actually stay sitting up or you can lie on your back, so it's your own choice, and we're going to do some minutes of 3-part breathing. So either lying down or sitting up and placing your hands on your lower abdominal area, and you know now what to do. Your palms are facing down, your fingers are pointing towards each other. You're way down so that your index fingers are almost resting on your pubic bone. Your thumbs are pointing towards your navel. And it's okay if your hands are overlapping. And this time we're focusing on steps and stairs, breathing in. Take as many steps as you wish to fill yourself up, but I want you to focus on directing the breath into the lower abdominal area, then into the ribs, and then into the upper chest. No way should your breath be strained or too much, so you might only take 3 steps. So visualize you going up a step, filling up. So you breathe, you exhale completely, you're in the lower abdominal area, you breathe in, You might take 2 breaths in and walk up 2 steps, then you bring another 2 breaths and you're up into the rib cage area, and then another 2 breaths and you're up into the collarbone area. And then just, if you can hold it for the number of breaths that you had to take in, so if it took you 5 breaths, see if you can hold it for the count of 5. And then just a long, slow, swooping breath out as you're going down the curve from the steps. Exhale. And continue that. We're going to spend a couple of minutes just doing that breath on its own. So lying down or sitting up, hands on your abdominal area, exhale completely, and in your own time, inhale and go all the way up, taking your steps. And once you breathe out, breathe in again and repeat it again. So you need quite a lot of concentration for this. Every breath in, you're breathing in energy and vitality, health, strength and well-being. And as you're breathing out, you're letting go of aches and pains, any negativity and resistance to stuff going on in your life. You're breathing that out, releasing and letting go. And from our abdominal breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, we know when we breathe into the abdominal area that the rest of our torso is not moving. And then when we shift to the rib cage area, our abdominal area is a minimal of movement on it, and our upper chest has a minimal of movement on it. And if you feel dizzy on it, do less. Make your next round the last round in this case, and finish on the exhalation, return to normal breathing. Take 5 rounds of normal breath. Keeping your attention focused on your breath. So now we're going to do it the other way around. We're going to have a exhale and a long swooping breath in, filling from, as if you're filling a bottle, from the abdomen to the ribs to the upper chest area. And again, without forcing it, stay here and start to breathe out. Breathe out 2 steps and take the same number of steps breathing out as you did on the other side when you were breathing in. So if it took you 6 steps to fill up on the other side, take 6 steps to breathe out, to empty yourself completely. But you shouldn't be in a situation where you're going so you really have to have discipline about the amount of air that you release at the start of the breath. Just sip it out. So in your own time, exhale and inhale, long swooping breath in. And I forgot to say, at the bottom of the out breath, if you can hold it for the number of steps, hold it. But if this is too much, hold it out, that is. If it's too much, hold it for a lesser amount. Again, it shouldn't be forced. And continue that cycle, just with intense concentration on your breath only. Make your next round the last round. Returning to normal breathing. And take 5 normal breaths. And we'll move into a little bit of a practice. So sitting down, if you're lying down, just move to sitting. And if it's not comfortable for you to sit like this, get something behind you and sit up in it, or sit with one leg out, or sit up in a chair. So inhale your arms up and bring your palms together. And then exhale and place your left hand on your right knee and place your right hand behind you and stretch up. Inhale as you stretch up, look behind you. And then exhale and then inhale, stretch up again, and look, draw that right shoulder back, that right ribs back, and exhale, and inhale, stretch up, and exhale. And come back to center, inhale your arms up, and then cross your body, bring your right hand to the opposite knee, inhale, stretch up, exhale and draw your left shoulder back, your left ribs back, look back behind you, inhale, stretch up, and again drawing that left shoulder back, left ribs back, and then inhale, stretch up, and coming back to your center place, just feeling how good that twist feels. And we'll start with our shoulders, rotate them forward in circles, and don't forget to breathe. And then back the other way. And then placing your left hand on the floor, bring your right ear to your shoulder, and then bring your right hand over the top of your ear and just gently draw down on the top of your head. So really good neck stretch. Take 5 breaths here. Inhale back to center and swap hands. Place your right hand on the floor. Place your left hand across the top of your head and draw your ear down towards your left shoulder. Sitting tall, press your sit bones into the floor or into a chair if you're sitting on a chair. Inhale back up and coming into seated neck rolls. So chin to chest and then bring your ear to your shoulder. Don't move your shoulder up to your ear. Lift your chin, look up towards the ceiling. Left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest. And moving with your breath. Do 5 of those in one direction. Do it slowly. Feeling all the crackling and creaking going on in your neck, if it's something like mine. And come back to center and then go in the other direction. Left ear, head back, right ear. Careful not to lift your shoulders up to your head. Make your next round your last round. And just stop for a moment and feel the sensations in your body. Perhaps you feel a little bit dizzy. Perhaps you feel a tingling in the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. You're never more present in what you can feel what's going on in your body. Sensations. Stretch your legs out in front of you. It's okay if you have a slight bend in your knees, or if you even want to support your knees, the backs of your knees, by putting some sort of a cushion underneath it, that's okay too. So inhale your arms up, palms together, exhale hinging forward, inhale back up and turn out over the other leg and exhale forward, and do it slowly. Really working with your breath. As you breathe in, breathe deep into the lower abdominal area. As you breathe out, completely empty. Inhale back up. Exhale as you lean forward. You might even work with the Ujjayi breath. Make your next round your last round, and finishing on your left leg. Inhale, come back up. And again, cross your legs if you wish, or you can stay with one leg out, whatever feels good for you. And then lifting your right arm up by your ear, be as sideways as possible over it. Place your left hand on the floor, walk it away from you, and be as sideways as possible. Now root down with your sit bones into the floor. Lift your chin, look up. You might need to even walk your hand a little bit further away from you. Inhale back up and place the other hand on the floor and lift your left arm up and be as sideways as possible. Just hold it. Lift your chin, look up, press your sit bones into the floor. And back up, and now we're going to do it from side to side. Inhale up, exhale back, moving with the breath. Pressing your sit bones into the floor, getting the maximum amount of sideways bend there as you can, taking full advantage of it. Saying the other night in another class, we seldom move in this direction. It's really very important for us because we lose the strength of our muscles, the sides of our bodies, and then as we get older, we begin to crumple a little bit. We sit to one side or the other, and we create lower back pain for ourselves. Particularly if you're in a job that's a lot of sitting, this is a really important move for you, or if you're driving a lot. And I would go as far as to say, if you're in a job that requires a lot of sitting these days, I suggest that you stand at your desk all day instead of sitting. As we get older, we get away with less with things like that than we did in the past. Make your next one your last one and finish with your left arm. Right. So, seated torso circles, hands on knees, inhale forward and then off to the left and all the way back. Inhaling and exhaling. Exhale forward. Inhale back, moving from sit bone to sit bone. Careful where you're breathing. Make your next one your last one, and then go in the opposite direction. And then exhaling as you go. If you've done 5, make the next one your last one, and come back to center. Okay, so we're in boat pose. Place your heels, place your feet on the floor in front of you, and just sit back and hold the backs of your thighs, pointing your knees towards the floor. And just hold this. Squeeze your inner heels together, your knees together. And now lift your arms up by your ears. And if you can, keep your feet off the floor. If not, put them tips of your feet on the floor. Take 5 breaths. Release your hands to the floor and see if you can stretch your legs out. You gotta lean back a bit, squeeze your heels together. Bend your knees and release, and come into child's pose. Watch the variation. Heels are together, knees are apart, and sitting back. My forehead comes to the floor, but I'm bringing my elbows to the floor. I'm joining my hands as if in prayer over the top of my head, and then I'm sinking deep back into my hips. And bring my attention back to my breath. If your hands don't come together while you're like this on the floor, place your elbows on blocks. From here we'll make our way to sideways child's pose. Stretch your left hand arm out in front of you. Bring your right arm across the front of your body. Bring your right shoulder to the floor. Turn your right palm up towards the ceiling. Look under your left hand arm, creeping the hand forward but sinking back down into your heels. And then switch to the other side. Stretch your right arm out in front of you. Go to the other end of the mat. And bring your left arm across the front of your body. Back of your hand on the floor. Sinking back and looking out under your right arm. Inhale, come back up, and from here we're going to just move through a little child's pose sequence. So if you watch, you're sitting back in your heels, you're moving forward. Inhale, swing forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, sinking back. Inhale, walking your shoulders forward over your wrists. So you need a good gap between your hands and your knees. Inhale, sinking back. Exhale, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, sinking back. Exhale, shoulders over wrists. So you're coming right through. Inhale, sinking back. Feels quite nice actually. Exhale, shoulders over wrists. Move to the next one, your last one. Make your way onto your hands and knees. Then walk your knees back one hand's pace. Gently turn your toes under and lift your hips up. We're in down dog. Just feeling, if you bend your knees and feet in or hip width apart, and you're just feeling the ground under your feet, parallel your index fingers, softening, melting your heart, and keeping a micro bend in your knees. And then walk hands to feet and stand up and make your way into Tadasana. Feet together, more difficult. Feet in or hip width apart, more doable. Stand tall. Engage your core, stretch the sides of your body long. Stretch your arms down, stretch fingers down, move ears back. I'm going to do a few half sun salutations. So inhale your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge forward, and bring your ribs to your thighs, allow your head to drop. Inhale your hands to your shins, stretch your back, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, lean forward, ribs to thighs. Inhale, hands on shins, press your knees away, look up. Exhale, hinge forward, full forward fold. Inhale, stretch your back, look up, hands on shins. Exhale. 2 more rounds of that. And then press down, inhale, stand up, lift your arms overhead, bring your palms together. Look up, exhale your hands to your heart, and take 5 breaths. Absolutely present in the moment with your breath. Making your way all the way to the floor. Come into cat-cow, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Exhale, round your back up towards the ceiling, allow your head to drop. Knees in or hip width apart. Exhale, sink down inhale, sink down between your shoulder blades, body following breath. Exhale, round up. Inhale, sink down. That going. Coming back to a place of stillness. And coming back into child's pose, knees wide apart, heels together, head to the floor, and this time place your head on your hands on the floor. And on every breathing out, sink deeper into the floor. And then staying in child's pose, balasana, stretch your arms out in front of you, and then walk your arms around to the left. Keep your hands shoulder width apart, and keeping sit back in your heels. Just feel that lovely stretch on the right side of your body. And then walk the hands all the way around to the other side. And again, feel a lovely, lovely stretch along your left arm, all the way down left hip, left leg. And then come and lie on your back and bend your knees and bring your knees into your hips. Bring your knees into your chest. And then keeping your hands on your knees, inhale and stretch your knees away from you to the full length of your hands. Exhale, bring them back in. And move through 10 rounds of that, but do it slowly. Breathing into your lower abdomen, your rib cage and your upper chest. And as you empty it out from your upper chest, your rib cage, your lower abdomen. Keeping that going. And make the next round your last round. And come back again into child's pose. And sitting back on your heels, head to the floor. And as you inhale your body forward, move your hips out to the left, shimmy out to the left, then hips to the right and back down again. Inhale again, round hips to the left, hips to the right, and back down again. Do 5 rounds of this. Feeling that in your hips. And when you're 5 done on one side, head off and do 5 in the other direction. Take your next round, your last round, and come and make your way to sitting. Bring the soles of your feet together and place your hands behind you. And then inhale, knees together, exhale them apart. And lying down, come into supine twist. Stretch your hands out in line with your shoulders. Turn your palms up, knees to your chest. Inhale, lower your legs to the floor. Exhale, bring them back up to centre. Inhale, lower them to the left. Exhale, back to centre. Inhale to the right. Exhale, back to centre. Keeping knees and ankles together as best you can. Inhale to the left. Exhale, back to centre. And do 3 more on either side. Just be careful, people with lower back. You might be better just doing it with one leg and do it on one side, 5 in one direction, and then stretch the other leg out and do 5 in the other direction with one leg only. I'll demo if you're not sure what I'm talking about. Just don't go as far in the twist if you have a lower back thing going on. Make the next roll to your left, your last one, and come back to centre, and then still lying down, bring the soles of your feet together, lift your arms overhead, clasp your hands together and invite your arms to the floor. Bring your awareness to your breath. As you breathe into the lower abdominal area. And then inhale your arms back to your sides and bring your hands to either side of your thighs and bring your knees together. And then moving into thread the needle, lift your right foot, place the outside edge of it on top of your left knee. Stay here more doable, or roll over onto your left hip until the sole of your foot comes to the floor. Arms out at either side, look away from your knees. Switch the cross of your feet, left foot on the floor, right foot or the other way around, and then roll over. And again, look away from your knees. And then come back to centre, bring both knees into your chest. And just give yourself a delicious hug. Both heels together, knees together. And then release your feet to the floor and move in. Prepare yourself for relaxation, but we're going to do some breathing first. So you might need to put on a blanket or something to keep yourself warm. So we're moving into the home pose. Bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips on the floor. Knees together, move feet wide apart from each other. And we'll focus on the rib cage this evening. So place your hands on your ribs with your fingers pointed towards each other. And take 5 normal breaths here. And of course, just as a reminder, we're breathing into the rib cage area only. So we're endeavouring to make the rib cage move out to the sides, but not with the help of our hands. Our hands are only to notice the movement of our breath in the rib cage. So in your own time, exhale and inhale and breathing into the rib cage only. Take 10 breaths. Make the next exhalation your last exhalation and return to normal breathing. And now this time, lift your arms overhead. And normally I say place them on the floor behind you, but in this case, clasp your hands together and interlace your fingers behind your head. Arms are on the floor. You can point your index fingers or not, it doesn't really matter. If you wish, you can also place your arms on cushions behind you, but do clasp them together. And then, once again, bring your attention to your rib cage, remembering the memory of your hands on your rib cage. And we take another 10 breaths, just breathing into the rib cage area only. Minimal movement of the upper chest and the lower abdominal area. See if you can make your rib cage move wider and wider and wider out to the sides, but without forcing your breath. Your next exhalation, make your last exhalation and return to normal breathing. Place your hands back on your ribs. Take 5 normal breaths. And now we're going to take another 10 breaths and breathing rib cage, breathing only, hands on ribs. Knees are still bent, feet are still on the floor. Focusing your attention, expanding your ribs out to the side through the power of your breath. Make your next exhalation, your last exhalation, return to normal breathing. And now once again, clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, and this time stretch your legs out. Feet wide apart on the mat, backs of your shins and backs of your thighs on the mat or on the floor, and take another 10 breaths just into the rib cage only. Make your next exhalation your last exhalation. Return to normal breathing. You can return your hands to the home pose. Bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips on the floor. Lean your knees towards each other. Walk your feet away from each other. And then take the last round of 10 breaths into the rib cage only. Make your next exhalation your last exhalation and return to normal breathing, and you release your arms, your legs, and make your way into relaxation. If you wish, have your eyes open softly or closed. Arms by your sides, turn your palms up. Just releasing everything. Being in deep rest. Begin to deepen your breathing. Start to awaken your body if you wish. Move your hands, your feet, perhaps give yourself a stretch. And then bend your knees, roll to one side and make your way to sitting. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart one last time, to honour yourselves, to honour the practice. We close with one Om. Exhale, inhale. Thanks for practicing, thanks for coming to practice, and of course if you like this practice, do give me a like, share or subscribe on YouTube. See you on the mat.